Today, June 3rd, 2021, is the first year anniversary of the Great Reset, the beginning of our future. On June 3rd, 2020, the International Monetary Fund, the UN, the World Economic Forum, and the Royals all came out with their promotional videos on June 3rd, 2020, to tell us about their beautiful, wonderful conspiracy. So let's take a chance to watch all these videos, because some of them have already been deleted and many more will in the future.
We have an incredible opportunity to create entirely new sustainable industries, investing in nature as the true engine of our economy.
The current global crisis has disrupted every aspect of our lives, but it has also presented us with an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to reset and accelerate efforts to improve the state of our world.
What a coincidence.
Changing our current trajectory will require bold and imaginative action, together with determination and decisive leadership. In order to secure our future and to prosper, we need to evolve our economic model, putting people and planet at the heart of global value creation. If there is one critical lesson we have to learn from this crisis, we need to put nature at the heart of how we operate.
Of course.
We are on the verge of catalytic breakthroughs that will alter our view of what is possible and profitable within the framework of a sustainable future. We need nothing short of a paradigm shift, one that inspires action at revolutionary levels and pace. We simply cannot waste any more time. The only limit is our willingness to act. And time to act is now.
Now! Before my beloved brother Andrew decides to talk about what he's done and what we've done with Jimmy Savile and NXIVM and all of these crimes that we just wish to get rid of, these horrible, horrible things that we'd rather not talk about. So as you can see, the Royals are all, trying to get our lives back to normal so that they can profit more, as they said, sustainably this time, and so that they can remain relevant or alive or free or whatever they want to call it. So now this is from the World Economic Forum. That was the royal family, for anyone still saying everything on YouTube is fake. This is the royal family's official official YouTube channel. Okay, so here's the World Economic Forum from the same date in 2020, June 3rd. We must hide the pedophiles and automate everything. Upgrade the people. Take your jobs, or we take your jobs. Crimes against humanity have never looked so brave. Isn't this beautiful? These manufactured crises, or bat guano crises, just happen to influence our politics in amazing ways. And it's been here for years. You can say that it just started, but this has been in the works for almost 2 decades. Openly, since 2016, but this guy wrote it in 2017. But June 3rd is the official date of the launch of the Great Reset. Not a unique anything, it's a conspiracy, a crime. And the founder of the World Economic Forum and the person that started the Great Reset wrote the book called The Great Reset, Mr. Klaus Schwab, who also published this on June 3rd, whether or not he wrote it on that date, talks about it openly. You can see his podcasts on his website, the World Economic Forum. You could be subscribed to this instead of the news and know a lot more about what's going on in the world. And on June 5th was his first podcast for the World Economic for the Great Reset. I won't make you go through all watching the entire thing. It's kind of boring. If you want to hear the beginning, though, it's the most wonderful. I mean, if you can't hear this,
To get us underway, let's hear from the forum's executive chairman and founder, Professor Klaus Schwab.
Thank you, Adrian. It is obvious that we are in the midst of the most severe crisis the world has experienced since World War II. 75 years ago, countries and people came together to shape the post-war global order, which brought us decades of peace, increase global cooperation and prosperity to hundreds of millions of people around the world. The COVID-19 crisis has shown us that our old systems are not fit anymore for
The ones that
21st
they
century.
created.
It has laid bare the fundamental lack of social cohesion, fairness, inclusion, and equality. Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight the real virus, but to shape the system for the post-corona era. We have a choice.
Post-corona era.
Which would lead.
I'm going to stop it there. Post-corona era. Corona means crown. Okay, so you can look at it whatever way you want. This is the crown. Okay, not the virus. And the Commonwealth owns like 50 or more countries. The UN would love to own all those. Okay, so symbolically, coronavirus is to get rid of this. We're all in this together. We're all in this to get her. Corona. Crown. This is just the highlights. So, enjoy.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight the real virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. And now is the time for all of us to define our own role. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world. Rebalancing investment, harnessing science and technology, and advancing the transition to net zero emissions, all elements of the Great Reset, are fundamental to building the future we need.
The world's problems fit on three sides of a triangle. It's one versus many, man versus nature, and the unfortunate foundation is long-term versus short-term.
We had already income inequality that was fueling income, race, gender inequality. We have a climate emergency, which we can't walk away from. There's no doubt that the very survival of the human race requires us to act.
Any recovery stimulus should have green conditions attached to it. Energy prices should reflect real costs.
You need private sector capital, private sector ingenuity, private sector technology, and private sector capabilities to come to the party. You need enormous trust between the private sector and the public sector for this to actually work.
We have to change our economy dramatically in the next 20 or 30 years, and the next 10 years is absolutely decisive.
The recovery has to be greener than any of the previous recoveries. And in order to do that, we need to ensure that the stimulus package, including fiscal and monetary, are much greener than they were before. So we cannot waste this opportunity to ensure that the very precious money that's raised from the next generation is spent on green and low carbon.
We will now start quite a high number of task forces to look at all the different issues, and we will present all those ideas to the people assembled in Davos. But at the same time, we will make Davos very different, very open, to ensure that we do not fall back to old recipes, but that we really look at forward-oriented solutions.
Young entrepreneurs, especially from developing countries that are there and can see the right problem, can really step up and create solutions.
Finding profitable solutions to problems of the people and the planet, and we're starting to see firms move to that, and we're seeing firms that behave responsibly in that way actually doing better on conventional measures of profitability and doing better in this particular period.
We've also seen social entrepreneurs step in incredible ways. Not only has it exposed the precarious reality, but then it has also exposed the opportunity to recenter the reset around the most vulnerable and those on the edge, where it only takes something like a pandemic or difficult circumstances to slide into poverty.
And then we need to couple that with new initiatives to equip more people with the digital skills they'll need, not just to have a tech job, but a job that is increasingly tech-enabled in almost every part of the economy. If we can empower consumers with all of this, I think we unleash this next generation to have a much broader impact more quickly.
We can never again allow our health, education, care systems to be underfunded.
We need our imagination here. Hospital is being redefined each and every day right now. So the next time someone tells us that tackling climate change is either too costly or too difficult, I think we need to remind them and remind ourselves of what just is happening right now.
We not only have to demand change, but also create change.
We have to live up to the expectations which we have created, and we will do so.
That's all coming from the same people that make billions of dollars doing nothing. They've literally destroyed our planet for their profits. And now we all need to pay more and have hyperinflation and huge amounts of debt, global debt, to reset the system the way that they want it, the way that these people want it. So, in conclusion, how about we just have our own greater reset button and send them all to prison, since they've all literally came out in the open and said they're all in this together. And they've had our news clowns push us into a corner over the past year, to where now they're talking about injecting our children for their safety. Now, this isn't going to go well no matter which way it goes, but civil disobedience, protesting, war, whatever they want or can handle. They have a plan for everything, and they'll never give up. They never give up. The only solution now is for our authorities to turn around and arrest them. And then we can have a greater reset. And we can build back betterer without these idiots and criminals. And we can use all the technology that we've untapped over the years, or discovered, or invented, or whatever, for the benefit of people, not for the benefit of groups like the people that have already done so much damage to our society by trying to mold us to serve them. We're done with that now. They've literally, they will need war to cleanse the disobedient, because most people will not, or not most people, many people will not go along with this, and they'll find ways to vilify those people to the point where their fanatics will literally want to kill everybody that doesn't obey. So, keep fighting for justice in your own ways. Love it and live it. Go live life, since living life itself is just a form of protest now. And yeah, enjoy the big show.